Well, this is World Communion Sunday, and as I think about all the Christians that are worshiping and praying and all around the world, I know that some of them are in places that have been hit by war, devastated by floods, they're dealing with famine, hunger, and starvation. They've had terrorist attacks recently. Some of them have had rioting in the streets. And many Christians around the world are thinking about Job today because we share a common lectionary. So I want to talk about Job, a little introduction to our scripture today. Some of you may remember Job was the kind of guy people would say, wow, what an amazing man. I've never heard him say anything bad about anybody. He's so honest, so generous, so faithful. This is the kind of person you should be when you grow up. But one day, Job's good fortune went south, totally. His vast flocks of oxen, camels, and sheep all got killed or stolen, and all the servants that were petting him got killed. His children were all having a dinner party at the oldest son's house. Suddenly a hurricane came up, wiped out the house, and killed them all at once. On top of that, he broke out in painful sores from his head to his toe, ended up sitting in ashes, scraping sores with a piece of broken pottery. His three best friends came to try to console him. But they figured God must be angry at him or something for turning his wonderful fortune into such horrible bad luck. Tell us, Job, what did you do wrong? What secret sin are you keeping from us? What did you do to deserve this? So our reading is portions of his response found in Job chapter 31. I am not dishonest or deceitful, and I beg God to prove my innocence. If I have disobeyed him or even wanted to, then others can eat my harvest and uproot my crops. But I never even left a poor family shivering in the cold. Didn't the poor bless me when they saw me coming with clothes from my own closet? If I ever used my strength and influence to take advantage of the unfortunate, well, go ahead, break both my arms, cut off all my fingers. The fear of God has kept me from these things. How else could I ever face him? If only someone would give me a hearing. Did I ever crow over my enemy's ruin or gloat over my rival's bad luck? No, I never said a word of detraction, never cursed them, even under my breath. After these sayings, Job is silent. When Jo Kenyon got the happenings Friday, saying that I was going to be preaching on Job, something moved her to call me and offer to make her own experiences fodder for sermon illustration. Or she said even we could have a conversation talking about my own experience. And as I began to think about that, I realized that all the points I wanted to make in my sermon, she's a living illustration of. Some of you don't know that the name Joe is short for Job. So we're going to have a little conversation here for this sermon and learn what we can without suffering. So, Joe, this is an awesome gift you're giving us to just open the depths of your life and experience, places that are very vulnerable. You have these people out here. How are you feeling this morning?
Nervous. Thinking, why did I make that phone call?
I think God made you do it. So, what are some ways that you can relate to Job's story? What do you want to experience? Something like this pain?
I guess I can relate to Job because Job lost everything. He lost his crops and his business, his family, his friends, and his health. I lost my innocence due to abuse, and it ruined my early life through alcohol abuse, trying to deal with the sexual abuse. And then I got sober, and I put my life all back together, and it was beautiful. It was better than I could ever imagine. I became the person I wanted to be, and then I went into work. And I almost didn't come home. There was faulty wiring on a bed, and I got tossed 12 feet. My heart stopped for 3 minutes. And I've been in pain ever since. It's done a lot of damage to my nerves. When they do work, they don't always work right. That's why sometimes I can walk and sometimes I can't. It's also why they can't do anything about it besides just pain medication. I've also lost many friends due to the pain when the doctors didn't medicate my pain properly. I was a crazy loony. I lived in the local R wings for years. It seemed like off and on. And then they put me on morphine, and wow, all my mental illness went away. But in that process, I became angry, and bitter, a horrible, horrible person. I hate to think back on the things that I did, the things that I said, and it was because of the pain. I also had little support from my family because they didn't think the accident really happened. They thought I was just making it up for attention. I was sick as a kid, and they didn't want to believe that I was sick, so instead they said I just wanted attention, and they thought this was just another example of that. But like Jo, through all of this, I never lost my faith in God. I may have turned my back on God because I was so angry, but I never lost my faith, and I always knew that God would be there as soon as I reached back out to Him.
There's a lot of pain in that story, but thank you for sharing that. So, were there ever times when you felt like shaking your fist at God and saying, why is this happening to me? Why me?
Oh, yes, many, many times. I mean, all my life, even as a kid, I tried to live out Jesus' teachings of caring and helping others, and that included four-legged creatures and slithering creatures and swimming creatures. Giving up my time and my talents and my belongings. And this is my reward, all this pain, all this loss.
Yeah. My guess is that there's a lot of people out there, and sitting right in this chair too, who have gone through much less suffering, but have also thought sometimes, why is this happening to me? Why me? What did I do to deserve this? Is that familiar to anybody out there? Anybody else besides me? Yeah. Well, do you have any perspective on why we go there, Jo? Why we ask those questions?
I think it's because we want to be in control. You know, we want to feel in control and powerful, and we want to prevent things from happening again. You know, we want to know why.
Yeah. So, you've had a lot of years to ponder these questions of why me, and kind of wrestle with why bad things happen to me. I'm a good person. Can you tell us what are some of the lessons you've learned and some of the things that have happened as you really lived this journey through suffering?
This has been the hardest question to ask that you've asked me. I was telling Randy, it really brought up a lot. As I said a few minutes ago, I was angry for years, and I pushed people away with my anger because I didn't feel worthy of support or even sympathy. In fact, in the end, I couldn't even stay at peace with myself. I got angry with God, and I lived. I couldn't believe it. I wasn't struck dead by lightning. And I didn't grow up Baptist, but I always thought if I got angry with God, that would be it. And this helped me to see God as God, not God as a human with human emotions like anger, and in my case, more importantly, judgment. I learned to ask, why not me?